Because anybody can get it wrong, but the goal of a responsible news organization is to eventually get it right using your resources. And getting back to the one other elitist thing that I don't think is elitist, but some people do. When students ask me what's the job of a journalist, I say it's to decide what you think is important for people to know.
Yeah. You're right. And every newsroom sort of has its conscience. You have a guy in your place named Mike Archer who's been there forever. This is the news guy, the crusty, bright intelligence news guy.
Well, he's not crusty, but he's bright.
Well, that's debatable.
Been around a long time. Steve Butler, Director of Programming at KYW News Radio, will not let a story on the air unless it's checked out thoroughly. There's no adventurism or swashbuckling in newsrooms like that. You have the same guidepost, don't you?
Sure, absolutely. And you know, when I came into this newsroom, Robin McIntosh was still on the job. Dick Standish was still on the job. Walt Hunter is still there today. I mean, these are people who have the understanding of this community. They bring institutional knowledge to the job every day. They are, as you said, they're guideposts for young journalists who are coming up and showing them how to do things the right way.
And you have John Rollins at Channel 6. And you have Vernon Odom, who's been here years, and in Channel 10. You had Bill Baldini for a while, and Terry Ruggles. And you look for that sense of responsibility, don't you?
Well, you always look for that sense of people at the core of the room who are there purely in the journalist's role, that may not necessarily have secondary responsibilities. They may not necessarily have to go anchor this talk show or make this particular appearance in concert with the work they do. Just two other quick thoughts about 9/11 and the Springfield incident. You know, those were stations, by the way, that had full management and anchor people and still made the mistake. So we assume, which you never do in our business, that they didn't set out to make the mistake that day. It gets exponentially worse when that apparatus isn't available to correct what gets there before it goes on the air. Tribune, which had a full-blown newscast here on 9/11, that news department was later dispatched because of financial reasons. Yeah, Channel 17 actually on 9/11 carried their sister group CNN on the air all day. I would hope that the Houston station, in the face of great despair nationally or locally, would at least reach out to a credible news organization to carry content.
Well, and that's what you can do in a situation like that. But what if it's a big breaking local news event? It'd be an abdication of your responsibility if you're trying to turn it over to someone else.
Information is risky business, isn't it? I mean, it really is.
Always.
Right, right. Well, you look, the thing that is very scary is, and I did some writing about this, the conspiracy theory sites, which are gaining traction. A lot of people believe in the wildest conspiracies. There have always been people who believe this, but now it's reinforced by professional-looking websites where information is repeated, uncritically repeated over and over again. There's not that built-in mechanism to check it because no one's interested in the overall view, and people do believe this stuff. People who shouldn't believe it believe it.
Yeah, people are having a hard time, I believe, walking the line between truth and tabloid and between bad information and good information. The problem with bad information is that bad information can kill, maim, and damage people. And you know that. Now, you're on Twitter, right?
Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, I think I follow you, and you may follow me.
I do.
No direct messages, okay? Just call me. If you want to reach Chris, you can reach him on Twitter. You want to talk about your social media or not release it?
I'm on Twitter. I have a blog about old-time television, kinescopehd.blogspot.com.
Not bad if you want to live in the past. It's very good.
And that's why I watch you.
And are you on?
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn. I have a lot of contact with students, and I regularly read LinkedIn to find out who's dead, who's really alive, and who's whatever rumor of the moment is going around. And occasionally I watch those things filter into mainstream media.
It is amazing. We thank all of you for coming here. A tremendous panel. Write to us on Twitter or wherever you'd like to, Facebook. And we'd like to hear from you about this program because your views are important. You can't forget the viewer. That's the big problem with most news organizations. Good night.